Riverdale sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We've provided a list of content warnings in the episode description. Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And we have 2 episodes of Riverdale for you.
That's right.
They're new to you.
Yeah.
Not new to us because we watched them a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So they're old to us.
Yeah.
And we've seen them before.
We
Not
have
that I
seen them
remember them.
I have vague memories of this. Like, I remember being like, Archie and Josie's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Archie's fights and that Elio hangs around. But that's about all I got. That's my memory. Oh, and I had forgotten, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, I remember that Betty lights the house on fire.
Which is great. I do appreciate
Honestly?
The farm should be, where we're at now, the farm should be the main plot. I can't believe it's like the bottom tier plot.
I am really annoyed that like they didn't just write like one show.
Good Lord, yeah.
So I often think that one of my bigger pet peeves with like ensemble cast shows is that you don't actually tell, unless it's the ensemble is telling one story. It's just like watching 5 shows.
Yeah.
It's why I have issues with certain books too that have like, there's multi POV is great when it's adding to the same plot. Multi POV where you're like, I don't know why these people have a POV drives me insane. Well, it's one of those things too where it's like, well, they add to the bigger plot. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, we have a limited amount of time on this earth, and I want this story to be told to me in a beautiful way and directly.
And in this, we've mentioned it last week, in the past couple of weeks, everybody's doing their own thing. Ensemble casts work really together, work really well when all the characters are working together. It could even be like Veronica and Betty are this week, and it's then Archie and Jughead. But in this 3rd season, everybody's scattered to the wind, and I hate to say it because I usually like Jughead. I've liked Jughead before. Every time we go back to the Serpents, I'm like, oh, what are we doing with this plotline?
That boy did not need a gang.
No, he's terrible at running it.
He's terrible at running a gang.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's a Nepo baby. Why does dad give him the gang?
I know. He's like the worst Moses.
Oh my God.
He's delivering them nowhere. Anyways, should we just get into the cast?
We should just get into the cast.
Let's do it. All right. Starting up. I like heard a sound.
I think that was your phone vibrating.
Oh, that was my phone because of like where I was sitting. I was like,
someone never puts his phone on silent or like
it sounded like a printer starting up.
It sounded like a phone vibrating.
Okay, for me, I was like, we don't have a printer hooked up. Oh my
The
God.
printer's in a closet. So if the printer's going off, we have bigger issues.
Good God. Okay. Well, starting off with Jonathan Whitesell, who's playing Kurtz. Now, Kurtz, you might recognize as a name because it's a very famous character from Joseph Conrad's book, Heart of Darkness. Which is what Apocalypse Now, if you've seen that movie, is based off of. But Apocalypse Now is about Vietnam. And so much that it's based on it, when they made the documentary about the filming of Apocalypse Now, it's called Hearts of Darkness. So there you go. But it's a real quick Cliff Notes because I had to remember. I read it in high school, and I'm like, I kind of could get you the basic thing, but just kind of pulled some stuff off Wikipedia. You know, podcast research. And it's
hey,
about...
at least it was Wikipedia. I like my lies fed to me by people.
That's right. Charles Marlowe is given an assignment to find Kurtz, aforementioned there, an ivory trader working on a trading station far up the river who has quote-unquote gone native. So this is a critique of colonialism at the time, but the UK's presence in Africa. And then Kurtz is an enigmatic figure who has used technology and things to fashion himself into a god for the local natives. So, as you can see, that would play a big role with Kurtz, the one who's like, oh, we're the Gargoyle King and we worship the Gargoyle King. So there you go. But Jonathan Whitesell has been in quite a few things. Movies, he was in Bad Times at the El Royale. And in TV, he was, drumroll please, Brian in, can you guess it at home? Can you guess it? That's right, the 100, a recurring role in season 3 and 4. He was in 2 seasons of Beyond, which is a freeform TV show about Holden Matthews, who wakes up from a 12-year coma and discovers that he now has supernatural abilities, ones that propel him into the middle of a dangerous conspiracy.
Vibes.
The freeform shows that pop up that I have no idea, that I've never heard of before, are always a delight.
Honestly, like, I kind of regret not watching, like, a lot of freeform shows. You know what I mean? And, like, I don't know, the slop in my brain. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that seems like good slop.
It seems like it's doing, like, from the brief couple shows, and people can corroborate this or not, because this is me just kind of throwing it out there. It's like some of these shows sound like teen versions of, like, either sci-fi shows or, like, Lifetime shows. Where it's like, because I also remember it would be like, these girls were switched at birth or something like that.
Yeah, that show was called Switched at Birth.
Okay, thank you. Writes itself.
Was it freeform, or was it still?
Might have been ABC Family still.
Yeah, ABC Family, when there was the one about the pregnant teenage girl. With Shailene
that was
Woodley.
also what I was. Oh, that's Shailene Woodley.
Isn't that Shailene Woodley?
Oh wow.
Am I making that up?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I think there's those. Yeah, I'm often like, these are things that I probably would enjoy. Like,
right.
If I was sick and I needed something to watch, like, I'd want like a freeform channel. You
right.
know?
You want to watch 20 episodes of Beyond.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, is that what Lucy Hale's one season show? She had a lot of one season shows after PLL. It's like that girl. I felt so bad. It was like every show she had, it made it like one season got canned. Which, I mean, she was getting work, like,
including one we're going to be covering soon.
Yes, but there was one where it was like, I think she was like supposed to be like dying, and then and then it was like, and then she didn't die, obviously.
That sounds like Freeform.
Yeah.
Can't remember. Real quick for the rest of Jonathan Whitesell while you're corroborating this research. He was the dub voice of Quan Limon. I don't know if that's how you say it. In Beyblade Burst. I used to love those Beyblade anime. And then in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, parts 3 and 4 as Robin Goodfellow. So we'll see him again soon.
Shailene Woodley was on The Secret Life of the American Teenager.
Oh,
which was on from 2008 to 2013.
Oh, so that was
I
ABC
watched season 1.
Okay.
Like, it would be like replaying on weekends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching season 1, but I never like stuck with it. You know what I mean? It wasn't that it, like, I was just, it just didn't happen for me. And then,
do you remember when it was Fox Family way back when?
No.
It was Fox Family before ABC Family, because that's where I'd watch Digimon.
Really?
Yeah, and no, I think Cardcaptor Sakura was on WB.
See, I didn't even know
Can't
that
remember.
existed until you.
Oh yeah, I loved it as a kid. But also, having us watch it now, and then supposedly it was all like edited down like a ton. There was only like half the episode count, and they like cut out a bunch of things. Anyways, should I move on to the next episode while you're looking through some
The
stuff
show
here?
was called Life Sentence for Lucy Hale, I believe.
Ah, there you go.
I think that was it. Yeah. I actually it was that she found out her terminal cancer was cured, and now she must live with all the choices she made while deciding to live like she was dying.
Right.
And I always thought that was like a good premise.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, obviously.
Is it on Freeform?
I think so.
Okay.
I just closed it. 'Cause
Okay. I was like, oh no.
I know. I let it go. I'm so sorry. I can find it again.
That's all right.
But I was like, that's a good premise. But I obviously contributed to why it got canceled, because I was like, well, that sounds interesting. Unfortunately, I was working.
Yeah. I mean, as she said, we only have ourselves to blame.
Honestly, we were probably watching Riverdale.
Kidding. Lucy Hale did not say that. We probably were, actually.
Probably. 2018?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
All right. Now, pulling in Miss Weiss, who has been coming up a lot whenever we're like, we need to talk to social services. Here we are, Miss Weiss, played by Allison Araya. She was in 2 episodes of Peacemaker. That's the John Cena DC show. 4 episodes of Julie and the Phantoms, which is a kids show on Netflix. An episode of Vanessa Morgan's show Wild Cards, which everybody seems to rotate through. 3 episodes of the Lost in Space Netflix show, and then 9 episodes of Arrow as Officer Lopez. So she's
Oh.
always seems to be in some sort of authority figure.
Well, she's an adult on television.
That's true. You're either a parent or yeah.
Well, we don't let adults that aren't authority figures show up unless they're like men pretending to be drunks.
Yeah. Hey, you. And then Arrow beats him up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then finally, Peaches and Cream, who is our main pretty poison, outside of our leaders of the pretty poisons, played by Bernadette Beck. Some more some other smaller roles in things that you've heard of, and then another role in another Freeform show. We'll get to that in a sec. Was in an episode of Supernatural, of course. Got to call that out. One of the shows in the roster where I'm like, I should call that out when people are on it. 3 episodes of Psych, but was also in 3 episodes of a Freeform show called Motherland, Fort Salem.
What?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
A trio of witches are trained to become powerful weapons for the American military.
Oh my God. Yes. Count me in.
I know. If people have watched that, let us know.
Tell us all about
what
it.
a wild premise.
I want to hear all about it.
Mm-hmm. So please, either write into our email, deadendspcast@gmail.com, or comment on YouTube, because we want to know.
We want to know.
All right, well, that's our cast for this week.
Also, like, if you have favorite Freeform shows, let us know. What's your favorite Freeform show besides, But, we know. We got the Pretty Little Liars, which was the transition to Freeform.
That's right.
So it doesn't even count. That's that's not.
It's ABC Family and all, but, the transition to Freeform, it's like, ooh, we're getting darker.
We're getting more teen.
Yeah.
We're rebranding to be cooler.
Exactly. We're going all David Fincher on him now. All right. So, Chapter 48, Requiem for a Welterweight.
Which means something about boxing, because Brenton had to tell me.
Welterweight's a weight class.
I was like, what the fuck is a welterweight?
Yeah. So, it's one of the weight classes in boxing or wrestling.
I
think wrestling also, but I know at least for martial arts or in fighting sports.
Not for me.
And there was nothing like listed as like naming after, but I'm like, is this just pulling from Requiem for a Dream?
One would assume.
Yeah. Now, the lesser of the 2 movies in my youth that were like, this one's about heroin. Watch Trainspotting instead. That's a great movie. One of my favorites.
I mean, I guess. It's a movie.
I love Trainspotting. Requiem for a Dream.
You gotta be in the right mood for Trainspotting. Trainspotting's not just like a casual, I'm gonna watch a movie.
It used to be for me. I love that movie.
I don't think you're
It's pretty, no, it gets pretty depressing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
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 I had to read the book,
but it's
and
also,
watch the movie for a class, so
Yeah, because it's also I think I find it less miserable because it's just like these people all really suck. So you're just kind of like watching these people like really make mess of their lives and like try and delude themselves.
See, I read the book first,
right?
Which I think just like makes it extra sad.
Yes, totally. Yeah, and the book's kind of like that, but the book is, since it's anthology, there's also like some, it's like, here's them being menaces at someone's wedding. And it's like, and Renton's not really the main character in the book. But anyways, where did it go? Oh, I wrote down directors for most of these episodes because I thought they looked really well.
They looked really well.
They look great.
They were visually appealing.
Absolutely. So the director for this one was Tanya McKiernan, who did, I was like, ooh, I'll pull this for Emily, an episode of Warehouse 13.
Oh.
An episode of PLL also. It was a season 7 episode 2. And I'm like, I did not remember this one. So, and then lots of NCIS and CSI episodes. So doing lots of good TV work.
Cool.
And then just for some other like trivia thrown in here, we're talking about the Netflix references throughout this show. Cheryl tells Toni she's been as clear as a bottle of sparkling San Junipero water, which is the episode of probably the episode of Black Mirror that I still like and think about.
Yes. I weirdly think about the Miley Cyrus one a lot.
Oh, that's funny. I think just because San Junipero is so different.
No, San Junipero is like a really... When I think of like a good, if you ask me like the best episode of Black Mirror, I would say the San Junipero.
Yeah.
But I think about the Miley Cyrus one a lot, and then the Meow Meow Beans one, because it's, if you've seen Community, you know what I'm talking about. In Community, there's this whole like a bit about like this app that like you rank people in popularity, and it's called Meow Meow Beans.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you've seen Black Mirror, there's an episode, really early episode of Black Mirror that has a similar concept, and I was just like, oh my god, it's just Meow Meow Beans.
I know. It was so funny just being like, we watched like Community first. I'm like, well, this one is like 45 minutes and Community did this in 25.
Yeah. Community wrapped this up faster.
That's right.
But you do have established characters in Community, whereas in Black Mirror, though I think apparently now they're like all connected somehow, and we gave up a long time ago.
Could not care less, I gotta tell you.
I started to get really annoyed with them.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, the horrors. Like, the world's bad enough outside.
Totally.
You don't scare me anymore, TV.
Yeah. And then apparently San Junipero was also the destination of the bus that Joaquin left on in the season 1, episode 12 episode.
So we're having all our gay characters reference San Junipero.
Uh-huh. Isn't that interesting? All right, into the recap. Gladys acts all domestic and shit and makes breakfast for everybody. Betty notices Alice's wedding dress out, and Alice is like, well, I have it out because I'm going to be baptized by the farm at the new facility. Oh, joy. Hiram calls Veronica into his office to ask about the missing drugs from his prison. He's wondering if the Jones did something since FP is sheriff and Gladys is back in town, and he wants to find the truth. Josie and Archie are at Pop's before school. Archie talks about how therapeutic boxing has been for him, and they act all flirty and nice. Betty worries about what the farm is doing, and she couldn't find a photo of Edgar online at all either. And Jughead is super helpful here and is like, well, just go along with Alice's baptism. Just pretend like you're like being okay with it. Like, okay, great, thank you. Dead weight.
Kind of his motto in these episodes.
Totally. They go to Serpent Club at school and find that all the girls have left to the Pretty Poisons. Jughead says he'll make this right, and he needs to remind them what it means to be a serpent, which is pretty tall talk for someone who kicked them out.
It's also, like, insane because it's like, how many serpents were there? And I know, like, a lot of them left when their homes burnt down and stuff like that, but it just doesn't really make sense. I don't really understand. And
now
then
it's like 3 boys in a trench coat.
Yeah, it's just 3 boys in a leather jacket.
Yeah.
1 leather jacket for all 3 boys.
It's all so messy. It's just like, Tony's been doing this way longer than you have.
Yeah. One doesn't, I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make sense.
I know. Archie boxes with Mr. Keller as Tom picks apart his fighting ability. It's like, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And Archie wants to fight for real. And Tom's like, well, you need technique first. You got power. You got spunk. But, like, you need that technique. And Archie wants boxing to be his future, and Tom's like, just give it time. Veronica pays Gladys her weekly payment, and she tells him about Hiram's suspicion to point the finger at her. Gladys then calls Veronica's bluff and wants Veronica to spy for her so she can be the drug kingpin instead of Hiram. Veronica agrees so she can get her family out of the drug business somehow. Archie sees Elio at the boxing gym with a fighter, and the manager doesn't want to host his fighter. Archie runs up and he's like, hey, I'll fight him. And Elio agrees, but wants Archie to throw the fight. And then Archie's like, I don't know about that. But then Elio offers $5,000, and Archie's like, well, okay. And they eventually agree to get that Archie gets paid half up front. Veronica talks to Hiram about dealing drugs and wants him to go clean and says he should do legal enterprises, like focus on his prison.
His for-profit prison.
I hate this. This is the stuff with like Veronica's plotline that drives me up the wall. Hiram says he's thinking bigger and he wants control of the ghoulies with Penny out of commission and wants control of the drug trade. Jughead talks to Toni and she wants to be queen. And she's like, but you won't let me do that because of Betty, right? And Jughead shakes his head. And it's like, okay, we'll come back around on this. Toni says she either leads or no go. And Jughead's like, well, the poisons are just Cheryl's vanity project. And Toni gets up and says the serpents are no longer a family. Alice gets ready in her wedding dress along with Betty. Evelyn and Polly, gets ready in her wedding dress with Betty, Evelyn, and Polly. 3 people in the room. Betty finds out...
4 people in the room.
4 people in the room, that's right.
This is not the first time today Brenton has counted wrong. It won't be the last.
Sorry, I'm giving away that Evelyn's a ghost. Betty finds out that Alice had to sign NDAs.
It's foreshadowing.
That's right. It's all in Betty's head. It's actually her Tyler Durden. Betty finds out that Alice had to sign NDAs and waivers for her baptism. It's like, what the hell? And Polly and Evelyn talk down to Betty and push her away. Veronica tells Gladys about Hiram going for the ghoulies. Tom gets mad at Archie for taking the fight, and then Elio's guy fights dirty and is like, cancel a fight, Archie, or I'm not your coach. Cheryl teaches Archie to the pretty poisons. Hooray, this is great. Toni comes back and complains about Jughead, and he's like, I'm going to take revenge, and Cheryl gets angry and also promises revenge, but quietly to herself. Sweet Pea and Fangs leave Pops and get surrounded by the pretty poisons with Cheryl leading, and they beat him up.
It's a great moment.
A great scene. Gladys tells Jughead to get the serpents in order while nursing Sweet Pea and Fangs, and she tells him the ghoulies are up for grabs. Toni comes home pissed at Cheryl that she went around her back and didn't let Toni handle it. Toni tells her not to use the poisons again without telling her. Archie tells Josie he has his first match coming up and he's getting paid to throw it. Isn't that great, babe? Josie's like, you really think that you're only worth $5,000? You're worth much more than that.
She's like,
Archie like, oh.
Okay.
Yeah, this is great on Josie's part. Like, really? That's what you think you're worth, huh?
That's sad, Archie.
Yeah. Exactly. That's Josie's tone. It's just like, that's just really sad.
You need help.
Betty visits Kevin for his help with the farm. She found articles of people who escaped the farm, and Kevin's like, well, I can't help because, after Moose left, I've been hanging around the farm people. I am the farm, Betty.
I don't understand this at all.
I hate this so much.
Kevin literally joins whatever group is convenient for Kevin to join for the writers, and it drives me nuts. I'm like, Kevin has no consistency as a character.
No moral backbone. No
Kevin,
nothing.
Season 1, so fun.
Yeah.
What a vibe.
Uh-huh.
I'd forgotten Kevin was so fun.
And like ride or die.
Yeah.
And then now it's just like, well, now he's the thorn in the side.
Yeah, and he's not ride or die at all.
No. Jughead visits FP to ask for his help pulling in the ghoulies. FP thinks that Gladys is the pulling the strings here, and then Jughead bulldozes past that, and eventually FP agrees. Maybe you should listen to your father. At the lodges, Hiram asks Hermione if she's been in touch with the governor, Dooley, because he can't reach him, and Hiram also wants to have a sit-down with Gladys. Veronica visits Gladys angry. Gladys says, Hiram called for the meeting. Like, what am I supposed to do? Veronica says she'll tell Jughead if she tells Hiram about her and Hermione. And Gladys says, like, great, I don't care. It's much worse for you. Tell my son I'm doing this. And Veronica's like, shit.
My bluff has been called.
Veronica tries to threaten her again, and Gladys calls her out and says, watch yourself. Archie tries to give the money back and cancel the fight for Elio, and Elio won't take it. He's like, dangerous men are already betting on the fight, so you can't back out now. Jughead talks to a ghoulie named Vern. They're all gone, and most of the ghoulies are now gargoyles, being led by a man named Kurtz. Jughead visits their lair and finds strung-out gargoyles doing drugs and playing G&G. He finds Kurtz and has a sit-down with him. Jughead offers immunity from the law if he joins the Serpents. Kurtz says the king is the only law. Jughead offers to be his game master, and Kurtz is offended. Jughead thinks it's a game. Kurtz says the Gargoyle King will come, and only the worthy will ascend. Archie visits Tom and says he was right and wants his help to ensure his survival in the fight. Tom agrees with Archie's apology. Veronica barges in on Gladys and Hiram's talk. Gladys says she can stay in here while we meet. Gladys wants him to stay out of her way, and Hiram rejects the offer. Gladys says there's something you need to know then, and Veronica interjects and says if Hiram can focus just on the prison, she can help him, and everyone wins. Hiram's like, well, okay, but I need a steady stream of prisoners. Will FP help with that? And Gladys is like, of course. And Hermione, will Hermione be a hindrance? And Hiram's like, no, she won't be a factor at all. Jesus. Betty makes calls to former farm members and is hitting a dead end. She gets a call back from a woman, and the woman is worried that they might be listening over the phone, so Betty offers to meet in person. Archie meets with Elio before the fight and says he's not going to back down and not going to go down during the fight, and gives him his money back. Jughead comes home and tells his family the bad news and that the gargoyles are lost in the jungle. Betty meets with the woman Martha. She ran away after her sister died at the farm during one of their ceremonies. They believe if you get close enough to death, you could see the truth and get close to ascension. Martha's sister drowned during her baptism, so Betty runs off to save her mom. Archie fights Randy, which is Elio's fighter, while Josie sings Beyond the Thunderdome, a Tina Turner song. Archie follows Tom's advice, and he seems to win, but the judge gives it to Randy. Damn. The farm is gathered to baptize Alice in the old gargoyle room at the new facility / Sisters of Quiet Mercy. Betty runs from her house all the way to the sisters. How far is this run? Alice picked her up before. Alice is submerged in a tub and held down by Polly while she struggles. Betty comes in right as Alice stops struggling, and Betty pulls her out and gives her
CPR.
resuscitate, CPR, and then while the other farm members just watch, and eventually Alice comes to.
The old version of CPR.
Yeah.
You don't do the mouth blows anymore.
Really?
I don't think so. You just do chest compressions.
That's how long it's been since I've had my training.
Mm-hmm.
Josie waits for Archie after the fight and is happy he decided not to throw the fight. You didn't tell your girlfriend your plan, Archie? They then go back to Archie's and hook up. Hiram tells the family he spoke to the governor and that Hermione made a contribution to him the day after he was shot. So he's like, why was that, Hermione? And Veronica fesses to burning the drugs in the equipment, and Hiram's like, well, you owe me $75,000. Gargoyles bust into the Joneses' trailer when Gladys falls in behind them, and Jughead's like, this is a bad idea, and she's like, I know you'll find a way to work together, boy. Oop, almost done, Herman. I'll take you out. And we need all the manpower to take the town back. Betty has Alice back home and tries to get through to her, but Alice is like, I was reborn. I saw my destiny. And then she's like, I need to purge the last thing holding me back, and it's selling this house, and then we'll all be together on the farm.
So in chapter 48, I picked up on a theme. The theme is desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Betty, desperately wants someone to see what she's seeing. Her mom's crazy. She goes to Kevin in desperation, hoping he'll help her. He's like, oh, I'm actually crazy too. And she's like, cool.
Yeah, great.
Even when she talks to her dad, I mean, not in this episode, but in general, it's a desperation. Mm-hmm. It's this isolation. It's feeling paranoid. It's like she's the only person who can see something.
Yeah.
And it's even Jughead who's like, yeah, like it's bad, but like, you might as well just play along so you can learn something from it. Like learn what your mom's up to and like keep her trust. And I'm like, I don't think we're at that point.
No, it's weird that Jughead's like that.
It's because they get rid of anyone's personality when it interferes with the plot.
Yeah.
That's like the fatal flaw of this show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something as like someone who creates, like I try really hard to like think about. And I'll probably do it because it's really easy to just change things in like service to the plot, but like so important to like keep people consistent.
Yeah, it could be the two of them and no one else gives a shit.
Yep.
But like they've done that before.
Mm-hmm.
They're when they're detectiving. Remember in season 1 when we all loved that?
Mm-hmm. So we have that. Archie's like desperate. He needs to like prove himself. Mm-hmm. That's why he's like, I'm gonna do this thing, and like he has to have value. Like, he's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to go to college, so I need ways to make money. And I need ways to, like, have a life and a career. And so by making $5,000 by throwing a fight, that's a way to do it.
Right.
And then he's like, wait, I'm desperate to prove myself, actually, and I have to then flip this the other way because it's Archie, and But this makes sense for Archie.
Yeah, exactly. That Archie's in a bad place, and he's like, nobody will listen to me. I want to force this. So then he's like, whoa, wait a minute, I messed up. Well, I mean, it's also good, too. He goes to Josie, and Josie's like, then he's like going to his partner, and it's like, well, okay, well, maybe I need to listen. I thought Tom was being a stick in the mud, but maybe my girlfriend's onto something.
Yes, I won't listen to an adult man, but I will listen to a teenage girl. Yeah. And honestly, I'd apply that.
Totally.
Jughead, his mom is one of his blind spots, and he's like desperate to like for his family to be together and to like in that aspect. He's also desperate to lead well, in air quotes, well. Mm-hmm. So much so that he's willing to like give in to his mom's thing about letting the gargoyles in because it's two of his things that he's desperate about, his family and like being a good leader, like mixed into one.
Right.
So that to me, like, it's not the most out of character. It's just stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like he heard that Archie was winning the stupidest boy in the world award, and he was like, well, I want to be in the running.
Let me try.
I used to do this too. Remember those early seasons?
Yeah, it's all the...
But that I just mean last season, I feel like.
Yeah, last season. Because season 1, he is purposely not wanting to be part of the Serpents. Remember that?
Yeah.
But yeah, now the Serpents are just... Yeah, like we said, it's just floundering. They're so pathetic. Mm-hmm. And Jughead is so pathetic on top of it, of trying to like keep that together and like trying to just be... like stubborn and bullheaded about things, like, oh, I'll change their mind. And it's just like, why would they even want to come back? You kicked them all out. They have their own thing. Eventually, I'm sure we'll wrap back around, but it's just tough to watch. And then, yeah, when it's so naked that Gladys is evil.
Yeah, give me a little something.
And then FP's even like, this sounds like Gladys. And Jughead's like, nope, straight through.
Yep. Veronica is desperate for her father to be good. She takes the fall for her mom. Like, she's desperate to have, like, the family she wants, and it just, like, crumbles around her.
Mm-hmm.
And so much so that she's obviously willing to take the fall for her mom. She's willing to let her mom manipulate her into paying off Gladys, and Gladys manipulate her into paying her off, and then her dad manipulate her into paying him off. And you're just like, Jesus Christ, girl.
Yeah, like, in the same thing that Josie tells Archie, someone needs to tell Veronica, it's like, you have more value than this.
Well, she figures it out.
Yeah.
Cheryl is desperate to make Toni happy. But that sacrifices both Cheryl and Toni's independence in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's also like, I think it could have been interesting to be like, Cheryl's having a hard time letting someone else lead. Like, I think that could have been an interesting plot line. And like, we could have played with it even within the framework of the Serpents. Because like earlier in the season, Jughead's like, Cheryl's a wild card or whatever. And it's like, Cheryl Blossom. She's really not that much of a wild card. She's just being Cheryl Blossom. But like, I think that could have been interesting and fun. But instead, we just have this weird kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I hate that they're fighting because they were
The best couple on the show.
exactly just head over heels for each other. And I made the reference to you when we were just talking. It's just like Cheryl should be Gomez Adams.
Yeah.
Like, worships the ground that Toni walks on.
Exactly.
So then, like, the next two episodes are extremely uncharacteristic, and
It's weird.
yeah,
It's annoying. It's like they had to create friction somewhere. This is similar to what they do with all the other couples on the show. And you're just
Yeah.
like, why?
we'll talk more next time too. But it's just like Toni is like exactly like Jughead for some reason in the way she leads to Pretty Poisons. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah. And like, so Toni's thing is she's desperate to be in charge, be in control, and like be seen and respected. But it's like, okay, so does she want to be the Serpent Queen as in Jughead's still king and she's queen? Or does she want to be queen as in dethrone him? Because they bring up Betty, but I'm like, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, she wants to be the leader of the Serpent. So bye-bye, Jughead. And Jughead should
Right.
hand that over because he's obviously doing a bad job.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And
you need to step down.
instead, it seems more like it's supposed to be like she wants to be queen while he's king. And so I'm like, then why is there any friction with her and Cheryl? Because shouldn't they be operating as both queens?
Right, totally. It's weird that they're super territorial about that.
Yeah, it's strange.
And I understand. Yeah, I think Toni is like mad at the writers, and then the writers are using Cheryl.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
And then Alice is desperate to be removed of her past, to be purified, to be reborn, if you will, and be clean and purged. She uses words like purged a lot, So you're like, oh, okay. Alice is detoxifying
Yeah, exactly.
from
That's
her
right.
past
Mm-hmm.
with her raw milk
Yeah, and drowning.
and drowning.
Because now we're at that part of the farm. It's like, okay, now we need to turn up the dangerous cold dial.
I do have some things that aren't farm related to talk about.
Oh, go for it.
One, is boxing really this sketchy, shady underground thing, or is that something they've made up for the show? I don't expect you to have an answer.
No, I only know
it's something I thought about.
it's like pop culture.
Yeah, they're like,
yes.
boxing is scary, and I'm like,
right.
why are we letting grown men hit each other?
It's like it's the
Like, if it's a bad thing, why are we doing it?
yeah, and that there's also
Is this a bad time to come out as anti-football too?
I think you've come up on this before. I think people know.
Sports that give CTEs, not good.
Yeah.
Right? Is it CTE?
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, but I assume I don't know history of boxing, but every single piece of media will tell you it's like you gotta that there's a high criminal element part of boxing, and that they're trying to make money on fighters taking a dive.
Exactly.
It's Pulp Fiction.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Cheryl teaching the Pretty Poisons to shoot arrows is amazing, and then Cheryl's mad, and her arrows, her arrow obviously hits a bullseye, but two, it has a red tip, and the rest of the Pretty Poisons are all black, and I
Really good.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
And three, why the fuck is Kevin at the farm?
I hate this so much. What happened to the guy? Especially like, yeah. I mean, I guess this is one of those things of Kevin has nowhere to turn because no one is really friends with him anymore. So then he goes to the farm.
But he could have hung out with the Betty and Veronica and all of them, and they would have
Yeah.
gladly hung out with them.
Mhm.
Josie?
Yeah.
Josie's hanging out with Archie. That's how little she has to like live or do right now. I'm
Right.
live for. Josie's dreams are crushed, so she's spending time with Archie.
Mm-hmm. Her prospects have fallen so far. She's with the Andrews boy.
But you know what I don't get it.
Yeah.
I feel very meh about these episodes.
Yeah, 100%. It's like better than the weeks before, but it's like
we're not in a good place.
Yeah. What happened to everybody getting hooked on Griffins and Gargoyles?
Yeah. What happened to Jingle Jangle?
Now we're on to Fizzle Rocks, and it's only the Gargoyle.
I want to go back to JJ.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anything else on that episode?
No, I think we're good there. All right. Chapter 49, Fire Walk With Me. Now we're getting somewhere with references I like. Love David Lynch. This is a rough one. It's a real rough film. Not gonna lie. Anyways, wrote down. Let's see. Oh yeah, because this episode was dedicated to Luke Perry because on the night that it aired, that same day Luke Perry had passed away. He passed away on March 4th, and then the episode aired on March 6th. And I believe his last episode, because he'll still be in Riverdale, is episode 19. Let me double check that here. Whoop. Oh no, where'd it go? Either way, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's episode 19. Here we go. Now we're finding the right one. Production. Yeah. His final physical appearance on the show is Chapter 54, Fear the Reaper. So that's episode 19 of this season. And then this episode was directed by another one I thought looked really great. Was directed by Marisol Adler. Had done a lot of Netflix stuff, but also did 2 episodes of season 5 of The Expanse. But in terms of Netflix, Lock and Key and Manifest, which was a Netflix murder series, and like some other streaming shows that I wasn't aware of, there was like Belgravia, the next chapter, seemed like that's like an ongoing series. All right. So Alice cleans up the house and puts on her pink blazer to sell the house. I love that she's like, all right, put my farm clothes away. We're putting on my realtor outfit. She shows a couple around the house, and Betty interrupts, talking about all the terrible things happened there. It's like my serial killer father who killed a bunch of people. Archie.
Is Alice her own realtor?
Yes. She's showing around the house.
Is she a realtor?
I didn't blink twice of thinking like, yeah, she'd probably have a real
I mean, you
back
can just
pocket realtor license.
You can sell without an agent.
Oh, it's just showing other homes and things that you got to get the license for?
You can sell your own home.
That
like in
sense.
theory, we could sell our home to someone without an agent.
Right. Yeah.
We wouldn't because we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Oh God, that'd be terrible. There's so much paperwork.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
You're probably right.
I'm pretty sure my mom bought without an agent. Yeah. Back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
The world was different now. The world was different now.
You're not wrong.
That's where we are in life. Past tense, present.
It's all blending together, ain't it? Archie boxes at the gym alone, and the manager asks him to start paying dues. And Archie's like, whoa, but it's like, well, how about you clean up after instead? And he's like, okay, good.
Have you ever seen the Cheetah Girls?
No.
Oh my God. Okay.
I mentioned this.
I know, but I forget. There's so many things. It's like, I feel like I didn't watch a lot of television. And then at the same time, I'll mention something that I feel like is common knowledge. Uh-huh. And you're like, I never saw that.
Cheetah Girls I will give you. For our age group.
Yeah. So the only white cheetah girl is the one that can dance, which is ironic, but like she's known for being the dancer. They can all dance when you watch it. But she's known for being a dancer, and she pays for her dance classes by cleaning the studio.
Oh, okay.
I just remember I think it's in the first movie, like she does that and then she leaves and she does like an aerial in the street, and I was like, man, I want to be cool like that, because I was working on aerials at that time.
You're just like, I'm gonna be
that's where I've capped out in skills. I can only do an aerial.
Skills down the street. Let's Farm goes into the classroom for their club and also find the gargoyles there. And then Cheryl and the Poisons come in for the LGBTQIA alliance. And they're like, what the hell? And then they all get in a fight with each other. And Kurtz tells them all that they're both in the middle of the game and everybody gets in each other's faces. Principal Weatherby decides that Jughead and Toni were the ones that they need to call into the office and reprimand. No representations from the farm here.
No.
And he's like, your gangs were involved here, and apparently the chemistry lab got robbed the night before, and he tells them one more strike and they're expelled. This never comes up again. Veronica is pissed that Hiram and Gladys have overrun Le Bon Oui, and Hiram tells Veronica that the night is comped because of the money she owes him. And they're just taking advantage of, her, not hospitality, but taking advantage of the premises, and since she owes them money. She vents to Reggie after the night, and she thinks they could turn it back into a casino to earn money again. Eek. Archie sweeps up late at the boxing gym when he hears footsteps, and turns out it's Josie. But then they hear another noise and go to investigate, and they find a kid by himself sitting in the dark with a lighter. His name is Ricky, and he has bad vibes. But Josie offers him food. They take Ricky to Pops. Apparently he's an orphan. Josie whispers about finding someone at social services, and then Ricky immediately runs away, but Archie catches him. Ricky...
Okay,
when this
every
all
time you say Ricky, I think of, so if you see Twilight-related stuff on the internet.
Okay.
So Bella and Edward's daughter, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen or read Twilight in the last 20 years. It's 15? I don't know. It's been a while. So their daughter's
20, yeah.
Their daughter's name is Renesmee, right? But people because she's an abomination, just like conceptually. Right. So people call her things like Ricky Tikki Tavi or like like whatever. They're like any R word like that they can think of that's like funny. Obviously not anything inappropriate.
Not the actual R word.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which we're 100% not cool with.
No, we don't like that.
No.
Like we're gonna bring that back, really?
Yeah.
We're going to have Hillary Duff do another commercial just like the Don't Say Gay commercial.
Probably. Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I hate it. I think it's stupid. I didn't even know the word was back until, people started talking about it. But that tells you, I'm obviously, by what I'm sharing right now, I can tell you a corner of the internet I'm on. I'm like Ricky Tikki Tavi and Jacob.
They're not doing that in Twilight.
But so every time you say Ricky, all I can think of is
Renesmee. Well, Renesmee is good and Ricky is not, but we'll get to that in a sec. Ricky says...
Renesmee is good as a...
Morally good?
I guess so. She's morally good. Conceptually, she's bad.
Yes. The character, Renesmee.
Yeah. It's her literal the that is problematic.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
And the way they ruined Jacob,
That fourth, the part one. So the literal fourth movie, is like the most pro-life blockbuster I've ever seen. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's
when you read the book, you're like, just what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, it's
also like, why didn't he turn her into a vampire before he fucked her? Anyway.
Yeah.
I want you to keep your human life. No, she wants to be a vampire. It's her choice.
And she turns into a vampire anyway.
Pro-choice. I'm pro-choice. You know what? This 18-year-old, old enough to get a boob job. She's old enough to decide she wants to get married. She's old enough to decide she wants to be a vampire. If you can join the military, you can decide if you want to be a vampire.
That's the aim. You're going to take one thing from this podcast.
I believe that if you can join the military, you should be allowed to become a vampire.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't have to join the military to be a vampire. They are not mutually related.
No. Just if those are the options on the table. Ricky says he was sent to St. Lucia's shelter and doesn't want to go back. They see his G&G brand on his arm. And then older guys at the shelter, supposedly, who had crashed there, branded his arm one night. Archie takes care of Ricky and lets him stay in the garage. Ricky asks why he's helping him, and Archie's like, well, I was in your shoes once as well, and my friends got me through it. Toni and Cheryl argue over the fight at school and Principal Weatherby. Toni doesn't want to get suspended, and Cheryl pushes back that meetings... Toni's essentially trying to draw the line, because I wrote my notes down wrong, so I'm just going to improv this, is that she's is it like drawing lines of that she's in charge of the poisons, and then Cheryl's essentially is just like, well, okay, if you're in charge, then like, and you're like taking me off leadership, then it's going to be awfully awkward, like, because you can't host like meetings at our house then.
It's not leadership. She's like, Toni is like, Cheryl, if you step out of line again and like you make a unilateral decision without me, I'm going to have to remove you from the group. I'm going to suspend you.
There you go.
And Cheryl's like, well, it's going to be really awkward if I'm suspended since we host all the meetings at Thornhill. Or Thistle House. Where are we?
Thistle House.
Thistle House.
Yeah. Thornhill's still burnt to the ground.
Yes.
Kevin glares angrily at Betty as he passes her. The other main three offer to let her stay at her house since her house being sold, and Archie tells him about Ricky. Betty offers the social services lady number, Miss Weiss, and Archie says he'll take it. Betty goes to try and reason with Kevin, and he tells her to back off. Jughead interrogates the serpents about the chemistry lab, and, well, serpents plus gargoyles now, and Kurtz is like, it was part of our G&G. And then Kurtz and Fangs get in each other's faces, and Jughead gets them to back down and wants everyone to repeat the serpent laws and wants Kurtz to stand them back or else he'd be kicked out. And Kurtz is like, you're going to try and make demands of me? You're the ones who came to me to be part of your group because you don't have any members. So, no, I'm not going to listen to you. And then Jughead's like, well, shit. Veronica shows...
has been called.
Both Jughead and Veronica are just dealt so many L's this week. Jughead way more than Veronica, but still... Veronica shows off the Le Bon Oui casino makeover. And
it is kind of cool.
Yeah, that they can like hide stuff.
Yeah.
I still think it's like evil, but you know.
But aesthetically.
Yeah, exactly. It's aesthetically, it looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has just co-signed so many evil things.
Well, yeah, she was raised by bad people. Where is she supposed to learn her morals?
But yeah, Dad, just focus on the prison. Reggie and Veronica show off how everything can be hidden away. Jughead goes to FP for advice, and FP tells him he has to figure out what his vision of the serpents is going to be. You need a mission, vision, values. And then give them something to believe in, and that he has to outthink the gargoyles. Ooh, you're giving too much credit to your son. Archie finds that Ricky ran off from Pops when kids came to harass him. Pop shows Archie a drawing the kid was making, and it's a vision of the Gargoyle King and the Gargoyle Gang laughing at a kid on a cot. Betty goes to leave school when she sees a farm meeting is in progress. She looks inside, sees a bunch of kids burning their hands over Bunsen burners. Archie and Betty meet with Miss Weiss about Ricky. They offer to look into Ricky, the social services, that is, and let them know if they can track him down. Hiram asks Veronica if she turned Le Bon Oui into casino, and Hiram wants to woo a card manufacturer and wants to bring him to the casino. Veronica wants some of her debt forgiven for it, and about 5%, and he says he'll consider it. Gladys just drinks for free at Le Bon Oui and wants to sing there, and Veronica's like, well, you can do that for 5% off my debt, and Gladys says yes. Betty visits Josie and asks about Kevin getting into the farm, and Josie's like, well, Kevin's been sneaking out at night. I just assumed he was going cruising. No one is looking after this vulnerable boy. He was poached by the farm. Archie shows Jughead Ricky's drawing and asks about the gargoyles and the serpents, and if they know Ricky. Jughead asks the gang members to search for Ricky. Kurt says there are other gargoyle members out there, and the old gargoyle gang members leave the serpents to look for Ricky. They are just like, nope, we're not helping. Gladys performs as Hiram and his associate heckle her. Gladys pulls a knife to gut him, and Reggie goes to bounce the guy out of there. Hiram gets mad and says to Veronica he hopes she didn't cost him a deal. Betty finds the farm members surrounding a bunch of hot coals as Evelyn has them walk across it. This is like a late night meeting. And Betty runs to stop Kevin, but he walks across the coals just fine. The farm gave him superpowers. Or just really calloused feet. Jughead asks Archie to go check out the old Gargoyle Gang lair to look for Ricky. They find in the lair a wall that has a list of names for sacrifices that include Archie's and Ricky's name. They find Ricky there, and he said he thought this would be the last place they'd look for him. Evelyn and Kevin meet Betty, who's writing an article on the farm's ceremonies. Evelyn says she's not publishing the article, and Kevin says they'll expose her and her family for killing the guy because Alice told them all their secrets. Archie teaches Ricky to box, and Ricky says older guys at the shelter recruited kids to use it as drug runners, but he said no, so he got branded. Jughead speaks to the serpents, and he wants to pull the rogue gargoyles out of hiding. Toni runs in saying that Kurt's trying to kill Fangs, and they find Kurtz and another gargoyle dangling Fangs over the school staircase, and they drop him, but Jughead and Sweet Pea arrive to just break the fall. Veronica finds Gladys tending bar, and she gets angry. She then finds
She's not tending bar, she's just drinking.
Yeah, tending bar for herself.
Yeah, she's pouring herself a drink behind the bar.
Yeah. She's just working. It's like, how dare you? I didn't hire you. We have practices here.
You haven't done your training yet.
Right.
Where's your I-9?
She then finds Hiram comes down with a client pretending he owns the place, and Veronica talks to Reggie about getting rid of them. Archie finds Ricky in his room and says they need to find a place for him to stay permanently and that Ricky needs to trust him. Jughead vents to FP and says he has a new idea for the future of the Serpents. Veronica goes to Toni to offer the Pretty Poisons employment at Le Bon Oui as hired muscle. Veronica asks if she has to run this by Cheryl, and Tony's like, that's not necessary, and agrees. Betty comes home and finds her mom sold the house to an anonymous buyer. Jughead has his dad at the Serpent Club for career day, and Jughead said the Serpents will be deputized by the police department. We all get these little stickers, yay! And everyone boos loudly, boo, boo. FP says the gargoyles can leave if they don't agree, and the gargoyles agree except for Kurtz, who leaves. You know, it's an odd place when you find yourself agreeing with Kurtz. Archie and Ricky play video games when Archie gets called from social services. Apparently, Ricky's full name is Ricardo DeSantos. Oh no! And then he's Joaquin's younger brother.
Wait, so Archie hears Ricardo DeSantos, and he's like, he's Joaquin's brother, and I'm like, do you know how many people I've met that had the same fucking last name?
Right.
Like, it's not like that unique of a last name.
Right.
That is not a last name you don't hear. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. And like this town, sure, it's pretty white, but like, I don't know.
It is really funny that he's like Joaquin. That would be so funny if Miss Weiss was like, no.
Yeah, she's like, actually, no relation at all.
Yeah. And then apparently Ricky has a history of violent behavior and self-harm, and she tells Archie to be careful. Archie goes back to find Ricky gone. He goes to look for him in the house. Eventually he finds Ricky behind him with a butcher knife. Ricky's like, it's the only way the gargoyles will let me in and play with them, and he has to finish while Joaquin started. And then Ricky apparently gave himself the brand to try and fool Archie and added his name to the board to mess with him. And then Fred comes in and Ricky runs off. The whole thing is shot like a horror movie. It's actually really great.
Mm-hmm.
And just this evil child. Fred patches up Archie because Archie got stabbed. Fred asks if he'll come back. Ricky will come back, and Archie's like, with my luck, yes.
Fred with his friends.
With Archie's friends?
No, he's like, with my luck, yes, he'll come back. Like, when I'm least expecting it, and with friends.
It's really good. Fred finds a card on the floor, and it's a G&G card that says, kill the Red Paladin. Toni gets ready to go to work at Le Bon Oui, and Cheryl freezes her out. Gladys comes to Le Bon Oui, and Toni and the other Pretty Poisons stop her from going in. Veronica's like, you can't come in until you play by my rules. And then Hiram comes in after, and she tells him off too. Betty goes to put her hand over a lit candle when Alice interrupts her to start packing, and then Betty's like, well, okay, I won't do that. Takes the candle downstairs. Archie and the Serpents take down the gargoyle later, and Jughead's like, it's going to be great. Well, this is Serpent HQ. This is a big fixer-upper, bud. I don't know about this. Archie wonders how he can get out of being targeted, and Jughead's like, well, maybe you can get this G&G game to come to a head, and offers to help. Betty comes into her downstairs. Wait, no. Betty comes into this part and goes like, I'll help too. Jughead says she looks happy, and Betty's like, I feel a lot better about things. And then we find that Alice comes home and finds that Betty lit the house on fire.
Well, Alice doesn't know that. What we know is we didn't see Betty light the house on fire.
Yeah, she comes home and finds... Oh, I see.
Alice comes home.
I made the presets...
and finds the house on fire. And
could have been anybody.
Betty had a candle. Maybe Betty forgot to blow out her candle. It was an accident.
That's right.
She left it on top of a cardboard box.
Mm-hmm.
With a cardboard box over it.
And some gasoline. Or kerosene.
Yeah, and then the windows explode.
That's right.
Vibes.
Yeah.
Okay.
God forbid a woman... yeah, go. Yeah,
oh, no, go ahead.
You're good.
Okay, so in this episode first, Betty, Veronica, Archie, and Jughead have their first conversation together in months.
Good God.
They all sat down when they had that conversation. I was like, oh my God, they actually are sitting in the student lounge having a conversation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd like to write this day down as a new day in Riverdale.
It's wild.
When you start the show, you think, oh, you'll see them together a lot. Turns out, no, you'll never see them talk to each other again.
By season 3,
has Betty been to Le Bon Oui? Yeah, she's used it for a meeting with adults.
Right. But like, has she been invited for the night? Veronica's like,
I bet she has an open invitation.
Right. Or you could come to the show the night, I guess.
I think she's been there. She was there for Archie's party.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she brings Archie there.
Yeah.
And Veronica's like, you can go now.
Okay, so what the fuck is the farm doing? Magic? Witchcraft? Form of manipulation? Some sort of just like science-based something we haven't figured out? I don't remember.
I don't think it's anything. I think it's some sort of like, probably like science-based thing. I can't remember, but yeah, it's all pretty silly at this point because it's like there's no other magic on the show, but we're really playing with magic.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't, actually the burning mystery of the season 3 is how did the babies levitate?
Yeah, and like what did Betty really see?
That's right.
Because no one else hallucinated when they had their seizures.
People are gonna really lose it when there's the Chris Angel guest star.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They all got mind freaked.
Oh my god. So the farm's blackmailing Betty with her mom's information from the farm. And
the most obvious thing happens.
What a shock. I am absolutely appalled. Who would believe these crazy fuckers?
Apparently everybody.
That's what I mean, I guess I look at the world around us and I no longer have to ask this question, do I? Because people believe crazy shit.
Yes, they do.
Critical thinking is important.
Yeah.
And I know that we're here for a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But just remember, use your brain. And don't fall for the do your own research, but actually look up real research,
Yeah.
When people are like, do your own research, and then they Google an article that agrees with what they're saying, and I'm like, babes, you didn't research and neither did the person who wrote this.
Right.
You gotta find a researcher. That's a job. If someone did research, they probably studied the subject.
Yeah.
At a high level.
Isn't
I know
that
we don't trust educated people in this world, but maybe we should all
think of something there.
Believe in science. Anyway, so yeah, that's good. I love this for them. The farm should be the A plot. I agree.
Yeah.
Like, it's way more fun. It's way more exciting. It's a good mystery.
Yeah.
What is it? What are they doing? Is it magic? Is it not? Is it evil? Is it just like a way to steal people's money?
Right.
And like, I think it would have been more fun instead of like messing with, like, I wanted to keep the serpents together longer. Like, it would have been more fun, like, to have the serpents like against the farm, like anti-farm,
Yeah.
And then like someone becomes a farmy and like, it'd probably be Fangs and then, or Sweet Pea. It'd be Fangs.
It'd be Fangs.
Fangs gets the strangest plot lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's strange.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Betty burning the house down, allegedly.
Me too.
Allegedly.
That's right.
I'm her lawyer. That's where she's not going to win. I didn't go to law school. That's why you should do your own research.
That's right.
Anyway, Archie and Ricky.
I do find this strangely compelling.
It's a good story because it highlights Archie's weakness.
Yes.
Which is that he wants to be of service so bad he's going to die.
He ignores obvious red flags.
Well, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, why you wouldn't really think that this child's going to kill you unless you're watching.
When you meet a little kid and they're lost and they tell you they're scared, you don't think this one could be evil, do you?
That's right. No. Just like thinking off the horror movie logic. That's not accurate to the character. You're right.
No. This whole he believes he has to finish Joaquin's game thing. Where is he getting this from? Because Joaquin got the card from the warden and the warden's dead.
Oh, that's Jughead.
Jughead says that?
Yeah, but Jughead's like, you have to... Oh, wait, you're talking about Ricky?
Ricky.
He was given the card. I think
know,
that's
but
the implication.
Who did it?
I
Because
see.
the warden, who was the one who told Joaquin to do it, is dead.
Yeah.
So who's the warden's warden?
Who wardens the warden?
Who wardens the warden?
I mean, the king.
Yeah, but this kid's getting cards directly from the king?
I think so.
Wow. Ricky's really got it. He's really connected.
Way to go, Ricky.
All right. You know what, buddy? Good job. You did way better than Jughead did, and he's been playing for a while.
Yeah, maybe not actually, because you gotta be inducted to meet the king, right? He has the brand. So I don't know.
How do you get the brand? I have a lot of questions about Ricky, but we're not going to have answers. Why were the serpents still being security for Le Bon Nuit?
I don't know. When did
it
change?
Stop?
Yeah.
And why?
Indeed.
Because that would have been enough to keep them busy and together.
Yeah. Did Veronica run out of money?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's no
information. Because she's hiring the pretty poisons now.
Yeah. There's no reason given. Maybe she is just like, now that... But they would still get hijacked from the Gargoyle gang. I don't know.
Yeah. Or are the serpents only protecting them on the road? But they're not anymore.
No.
Because they have nothing to unite them.
No.
So this show has picked up and dropped a lot of plot lines, but this is the first one I've noticed hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk about the pretty poisons and the power struggle. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't either.
Why can't they just be hot and happy?
I know.
Why does there need to be a power struggle?
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb, and it's so ugly to see Cheryl be like, well, I'm throwing the money into this. You know, basically, I provide the place. And it's like, okay, but like that's not our Cheryl.
No, that's not Cheryl at all.
That's what Cheryl does to strangers. That's not what Cheryl does to people she cares about.
No. And even if like there's I think a compelling way of doing the I like to be in charge and Toni being like, but you have to hear me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't come out this petty.
No, you could have done this, but I think, no, we're going to all be shocked at the direction I take this in. I think that this was written with some internalized misogyny.
Yeah.
Whether it be, I don't know if the writers were men, women. I don't know who wrote this particular episode. I didn't look it up. But I think that is very misogynistic to decide that the way that these women engage in, I mean, I guess they're girls or teenagers, but but they act like adults because this show is weird.
Exactly. I mean, they're running organizations.
Yeah. They've got their own businesses. I think that we would not see them interact this way. They are more mature than that as characters. Yeah. And so to backslide them is because they're like, ooh, cat fight, girl drama. You know what I mean? Like it becomes like the women's equivalent of a pissing contest.
Yeah.
Peeing race.
Exactly. Quote Pops Burgers. And when I would think I didn't like the execution of this, but I think I didn't like the execution of this, but I also didn't like the execution a couple episodes ago when Toni was like, I feel cut off. Mm-hmm. I'm not in charge. Like they can't write a good plot line for Toni with a gun to their head. Yeah. And so you would think that it could then be, Cheryl being like, oh, I can help. And then eventually Toni having to be like, please let me do this on my own. And then, Cheryl might being like, mur, 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 and then eventually learning.
Yeah. Or being like hurt. Like instead of being like, mur, 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 it's like Cheryl's like, oh, you don't want me around. So like, I'm going to make myself scared. Like I'm afraid now. You know what I mean? Like, cause she cares about Toni so much. Cause she cares about Toni so much more than anyone else.
Yeah. And there's that part of her where it's like, I have had to do everything myself and lead everything myself.
Yes, I have to be in charge because people won't accept me unless I'm the leader, too. Like, that's a lot of Cheryl's trauma. Like, people don't like Cheryl.
No.
But they respect Cheryl.
Exactly.
And so she's not in charge and she's just part of the group. How is she ensuring her status? And not in terms of, like, power over people, but, like, what she doesn't belong. Mm. She has no sense of belonging. But Toni thinks of her as just, like, a person. She loves her, so she doesn't think her as someone you can't accept.
Yeah.
And so it'd be Cheryl learning how to be accepted as a member of a group. And that could be interesting. And Toni getting to be in charge and helping her navigate that.
That's right.
Because it's like they're trying to do a bad attempt of decentering Cheryl in the relationship so that it feels more equal, which like would be great if it was done well.
Yeah. And I also hate the like Veronica, she's not saying this like snidely, but she's like, oh, like, do you need to run this by Cheryl first? And then like Toni like taking that as like paternalistic and being like, no, you don't need to.
Instead of being like, oh yes, we are partners, so we run things by each other. And her going to Cheryl and being like, this is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. Other things I have feelings about. The serpents joining the police force. Were they called
Yeah.
Junior Explorers? Is that what the...
There you go. You figured it out.
I was trying to remember the name of the narcs in high school, the kids who were before we recorded this. I was like, you remember the kids that like rode around with cops and were like they wanted to be cops one day, and I called them narcs, but which is ironic. I was never doing anything that was worth narking on for the most part.
Yeah.
But they were Junior Explorers. I was friends with a kid who became a Junior Explorer, and I was like, why? Don't you want to? Why? What if you went to the parties instead of like ruining them? Just an idea. I bet you could get an invite if you were like, hey, I'm gonna either come with the police or like you could invite me. I bet they'd let you right in. Nobody gives a shit. This town has 12 people on a good day. Like, just go.
Right.
Anyway, so I do think in a fun, creative, not at all anchored in our reality and how our police force is. Just extrapolate police as a concept on television, just as that.
Well, because the Riverdale police force, we don't see anybody else other than the sheriff most of the time.
Exactly. Okay, so imagine the police force is like that, or maybe like Twin Peaks style.
Yeah,
just like
right.
So in a world like that, the idea of FP going from number one criminal to sheriff is kind of a fun concept.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fun transition. I don't like it because we don't live in a world that is at all like that. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a fun concept to play with that. Like, the show in its early days played with that good, evil, like, the heart of the community is pops, and then like everything else is kind of like topsy-turvy. And I guess like from the point LeBron we opened underneath pops, it's kind of become like the whole town is now like, instead of being good, it's twisted towards evil. So like the people that are enforcing good are the criminals. And I don't say that in like like people who are disenfranchised or criminals. I say that in these people actually killed somebody.
Yeah, the characters.
The characters themselves have all murdered.
Yes.
Which makes them all criminals.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to like play with that concept.
Yeah.
And I think that could have been cool, but it doesn't work because like it's like there's certain ideas you have when you're trying to create something as a creative that you're like, man, if we lived in a different world, this would work really well, but we don't live there. And it's your job as the creators to then be like, well, this is not appropriate. This is not going to have the impact we want because of the world we live in.
Yeah.
And I think they could have done that. Like, I think they could have been like, we should write this different because it doesn't work.
No.
Like, instead of doing that, turn them into the heroes. Or you know what I mean? Like, there was a way to do that flip and switch. Like, all of a sudden, they're the ones that are making sure that everyone stays safe, or they're guarding the city, or I don't know. But
yeah, it's like a watch.
Yeah, you could do something like that. But you can't do this.
Yeah. And it's, I think it would also be different for some of the things you're talking about there if there were any like characteristics really like of FP leading up into this. Not really. And then same with like the serpents. It's like they're just rudderless. Mm-hmm. So it's like, here's a new security gig essentially. Mm-hmm. So it's like now they're just going to be like the narcs on the town.
I do like,
and they went from like the gang.
Is it Sweet Pea who's like, do we get guns? And
yes.
Jughead's like, no. Just straight up no. It's like, you already killed somebody on accident.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Okay. My favorite thing that happens in this episode is for the second episode in a row, but this time it's Kevin. Someone tells Betty she's a detractor. So in the first episode, I think Alice is like, yes, Edgar told me you were a detractor. And then her sister calls her a detractor or whatever. But Kevin calls her a detractor. Evelyn said you were a detractor. And I'm like, could you imagine like your friend that you've known for so long looking at you and having joined this cult yesterday?
Yeah.
And being like, yeah, you're a detractor. Like, Betty's the fucking problem.
Well, you know, just
what did Betty do besides ask questions? I mean, I know the farm hates her, but like, how did everyone else? Yeah, get tricked.
He's brought in, you know.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just you know what the problem is. Again, no one was checking on Kevin. No one was hanging out with Kevin, and here we go. And then even, you know, Betty has to ask Josie what he's been up to, and Josie's even like, I thought he was just going out for sex. But nobody's checking in on him. No one's making sure.
Do you think that's a similar way to look at how our world is politically right now? That too many people have gone to feel abandoned by community and therefore have found community in groups that are not good.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Evil, straight up evil. Most of these groups are straight up evil. I was like, I don't know why I said not good. They're bad.
Yeah.
Bad is the word.
I think there's a lot about that. Yeah.
That's my deep thought for the day. You're all welcome. You
love
got to
it.
witness it.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And I think on a number of axes.
Mm-hmm.
I think especially like the Conservative Project being one of, here's a community for you where you don't have to feel bad for things in your privilege and things like that.
Where it's like,
here's a community for you where you can say it proudly.
yeah, it's crazy too. They're all crazy, but
yeah.
That being said, let's talk about our fake people.
Okay.
So Veronica's power struggle, I feel like in this episode is actually like interesting. Like Veronica gets a lot of wins and losses, consistently, and she always comes out barely on top. And it makes her story, I think from a storyteller perspective, Veronica's story is the most compelling besides the farm.
Right.
I think the farm is the most interesting. But I think in terms of like how they're telling the story, Veronica's is getting like a lot of good writing and like delicate care for what it is. It's a casino story with a girl fighting with her dad,
Yeah.
And there's Glamour eggs. It's not my favorite arc in the show. Does that make sense? But
Yeah.
I think that it's done decently well.
Hmm.
I also think Betty has good power struggles, and I think the show would serve itself better to focus more on the two of them right now than whatever the fuck the other two losers are doing.
Yeah.
Make men accessories
There you go.
to murder and to the main characters.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a hard time being interested in Veronica's as much of like the power struggle between her and her dad. It's kind of the same thing ongoing at the moment. And I think actually my biggest hurdle is that like because she's still so invested in like her family and her father, and it's like I wish you would just like move on from this. That it's like I don't care about her trying to redeem her family.
I think I think it's because she's trying to redeem herself in a sense. It's like she's like, oh God, if I'm like them, what am I? And I think if we spent more time in her story, we would see that better.
Yeah, maybe.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I would just rather spend time there.
That's fair.
Than Jughead and his little boy cops.
Oh yeah, Jughead is the bottom of the list. Now, Archie, if they continue to throw in weird curveballs like Ricky, I might be interested.
Archie had a good episode.
He did.
He was still the dumbest boy in the world, but he knew he was the dumbest boy in the world.
He was trying to do the right thing.
That's improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, any other thoughts on this episode? Did I miss anything that you felt passionately about?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah. Well, we won't be hosting a casino night anytime soon.
No. We will not be doing that.
No, it's not really our thing.
No, yeah, we're not really card game players or anything, so.
No.
But anyways, you can find this podcast on all your audio podcast platforms of choice at Dead Ends. You can also find us on YouTube at dead_ends. You can write into us at our email, deadendspcast@gmail.com, or leave a comment on YouTube. And we like talking to people either way. We appreciate the emails. And if there is also something you want us to bring up on the podcast, please let us know. And then we're also on Blue Sky at dead-ends.bisky. Oh, and also the podcast art is made by Vendrinick, and you can find more of their artwork on Tumblr, and you can find the Tumblr link in all of our episode descriptions.
Well,
we don't fit in.
And we're not gonna fit in.
I was like, I can find it. That's
like,
what that long pause was.
I'm going to have to go first again. I always have to go first because Brendan doesn't remember.
No.
That's not true. I've been making you do it.
I'm getting there.
You could probably count. Like I think I'm pretty good at doing every other.
The past few, we've been trying to make me figure it out.
Has it been you each time the past few?
Yes.
Oh, of me making you go first?
I mean, you're not making me. I feel imperative to try and remember.
Well, we love you very much.
We love you very much.
And be safe out there.
Stay safe.